All right. Time to get into it. I know some of y'all ain't catch the Candace Owens and Cornel West debate. They debated, I guess you could, I don't know, what's it, liberal versus conservative? I don't know. Cornel West was being way too passive. He didn't want to come off as the big black angry guy, but Candace Owens came off as the little black angry girl. He could have definitely matched her energy on that one. Peace, Claude. Yeah, I think um now somebody like sometimes you gotta just be stern. Like it's okay to be soft but stern. Like because if you look at these conservative white guys, like nothing about them is passive. If you look at Myron, Tommy Sotomayor, you look at you look at Charlie Kirk, like this, I'm talking about the guys who are debating in front of the world. And you look at even people like Ben Shapiro, like they aren't so passive. I don't know what Piers Morgan is, but if you look at him, he ain't so passive. But if you look at like some of the liberals, especially the black ones, like Mark Lamont Hill, he's passive when he debates Candace Owens. He's not matching her energy. Then you got Cornel West right here. And you got some of those who are non-party, right? Like you have like Tariq will argue more aggressive, but considerate, right? Not too much. So that's the main thing. And I think Candace sensed that, that this guy wasn't going to be aggressive. So she was barking, man. Yo, what kind of bird is that? All right. So but she was definitely barking. Okay. So let's take a look. Where we at? It's a nice sunny day out here, as you can see. All right. So let me move that. Damn. Well, the sun actually went down a little bit. It ain't too crazy as it was earlier. I'm trying to think. How can I? Oh, okay. Here we go. Don't you? Let's see a big ass truck here, like they about to cut some grass. All right. Okay. They went the other way. Good. I'm about to be hot. I'm already hot. About to be hot, hot. All right. Here we go. Take a listen.
Abilities, but fascism as a whole ideology.
We're
We don't
talking
have a
about fascism.
wholesale fascist ideological movement, but we've got some elements of it. The Klan is, I mean, the Klan is had deep fascist sensibility. Would you agree with the Klan was deeply fascist?
Absolutely, and we have to remind ourselves the Klan, they were Democrats, and I was actually going to make the
Yes,
argument that I.
You see, so you'll see this a lot. This is liberals, period. Don't matter, and conservatives, period. Like it don't matter the race. They gang bang. The liberals, the conservatives, the liberals just talk to the people. Who cares about what? I guess for them that means the most because that's how they argue. But for us who are like non-political party, it's like, yo, just give the information. So she made note that the Klan were liberals, right? They were not conservative like she is. But I mean, yeah, the Klan of old, I highly doubt the Klan of new or modern day are liberals. So it's like a disingenuous argument. Peace, American Dream. Peace, Claude.
Yes, they
See,
were.
the Democrats actually are, they have a lot of fascist tendencies. And just in talking about the fact that I cannot go to a college campus and speak about the fact that I'm a black conservative and talk about why I believe in conservatism for black Americans, why I love Dr. Thomas Sowell, why I believe that the economics, yeah, a wonderful man.
So, Cornel West says Soul was a good man, and I was hoping he wasn't going to concede to that, and he didn't. He didn't let me down there. All right, so Thomas Sowell is like one of the biggest coons that you can find, and it's not because he's a coon because he's conservative or he attempts to hold Black Americans accountable. I try to hold Black Americans accountable. All right, so it ain't that he's a coon because he revised history. He revises history. I called him, and I'm gonna do. I already did a video, but I didn't like the way I did the video because I included like so many other things. but I'm gonna be more specific, and I'm just focused on uh Thomas Sowell. And I'm gonna do one with Larry Elder, debunking all of their major points one by one. I redid the video again. I don't like looking back. I don't like the video because I got a lot of stuff in there, so you could kind of easily miss it by the other distractions I got in the video, the other arguments I made. Hold on. Okay, so
Dr. I believe in conservatism for Black Americans. Why I love Dr. Thomas Sowell. Why I believe that the economics. Yeah, a wonderful man.
I think he's wrong on a lot of things, but he's a brilliant man. Go right ahead.
Okay, so I like that. So he came back and said he's a brilliant man, which he is. He's a economist. He graduated from one of these prestigious schools, like one of these Ivy League schools. I don't know, your Harvard, yeah, one of them, Princeton. But he is brilliant. I just don't believe too many conservatives are brilliant. You dig? Like, because they have to concede to like the conspiracy theories, the pseudoscience talking points. I would love to just meet a conservative who believe in conservative values and ideologies, but don't buy into the whole playbook, right? You don't got to get into the whole, like, why you got to be anti-abortion, right? Or pro-life. Why you just can't be a conservative who agrees with the science behind that? Why you can't agree with the, climate control and things like that? Why you got to agree to the whole playbook, which I don't like. I'm a biased Ron. I don't buy into no whole playbook. Like, I like what I like and I agree what I agree with. And that's why nobody can be my leader, because I can only be my own leader because I only agree with me 100%. You can't make somebody my leader. And I hate that.
I think he's a wonderful man.
I think he's wrong on a lot of things, but he's a brilliant man. Go right ahead.
I like that. He said, I think he's wrong on a lot of things, but he's a brilliant man, which he is wrong on a lot of things. And he is brilliant, but he's wrong on a lot of things. So I like how Cornel West made sure he didn't concede to Thomas Sowell, like just brilliance and leave it like that. He made it clear he's wrong on a lot of things. And I will have the video exposing all the things he's wrong on. Peace, Boot Camp. Now, I am actively reaching out to other content creators who are anti-FBA, right? I've been trying to contact Sabir Bey. Actually, I got through to Sabir Bey. He first said he wanted to talk to me on his live stream. You'll see him always mention me, right? When I comment. He wants to invite me on, then he doesn't want to invite me on, and A, B, and C. But I'm reaching out to these folks. CRL is another one who's been like trolling FBA's, everything in his mouth is FBA's. I already spoke to Cat of Truth. I don't got no more issues with him because we already agreed to disagree. So I'm not going to troll or chase, or try to tag my name to Cat of Truth. We had a conversation. It was respectful. I disagree with him, of course. He's a tether to me. He disagreed with me. And we moved on. That's it. Like, you don't hear me mentioning his name in a negative light. No, because he was bold enough to come on and talk. American Dream called in. You can only respect the people who call in, right? I got no respect for those who won't call in. And again, if they had a call-in number, I will call into their podcast. Like, they don't want to talk to me at all, zero. All right. And I have more influence than them. I have more views per video. I got less subscribers, but more views per video than them. So talking to me would be an upgrade for their channels, not mine. There's no gain. And I'm not talking about Chaotic Truth. I'm talking about the ones I'm reaching out now. Okay. I even reached out to Ringo TV. He got hella subscribers, like 170, but I'm doing better on views. You dig? So I'm even doing better than him, who got 100,000 more subscribers than myself. But I got to use his leverage. So this is why I need my people to come out and check out the videos. Like, I use my views as leverage to get these clowns over here. So even if you don't catch me live, family, just go and like the videos. Go and check out the older lives. You ain't got to watch them all the way through, but check out some of the content and like the video. That matters. I use my views as leverage to get these clowns over here, these other content creators. All right. So if y'all want to see me talk to these guys, the Ringos, these other clowns, you got to go back and like the videos, because I use that when I talk to these guys. because we exchange, we talk, and I use the views as leverage. Okay, Donnie, peace, boot camp. Let's get it.
Economics, yeah,
He's
a
a brilliant
wonderful,
man.
wonderful
I mean, I
man.
think he's wrong on a lot of things, but he's a brilliant man.
I
Go
think,
right ahead.
I think he's right, but and you can
Right.
think that, and we can
Right.
both sit
And
here
think-
and we can
and
have this
have argument.
conversation
That's
and
right.
have an argument, and
That's
we do
right.
that.
Absolutely.
But the fact that he can go to a college campus and show up and he won't be met with Antifa protesters, right? And people trying to shut down the speech and threaten the event, and the university demanding that you pay for an absurd.
Oh, he will be shut down if he use controversial talking points like Candace Owens does when they go to these college campuses, right? The college campuses, they going to protect, the youth that's seeking this 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 education, like certain education. They're going to definitely protect the kids.
Police presence that no one can really afford to put together. That's how you censor me. That's how you shut me down. So to me, that's institutionalized fascism that we see every day on the left. You will never see that on the right. You'll never see any place that you go as conservative. You will be welcomed. We might say, hey, I disagree with him, but I want to hear his ideas. So I think this dialogue, I think it's important so that people can determine who they actually think is right. If we don't talk, they're not getting a fair determination.
And I resent that isn't accepted as a truth. I mean, the understanding from a lot of, maybe half the country now, is that there's places that Cornel West would go to do a talk, and there'd be Nazis outside Sieg Heiling trying to prevent him. And that's just
Absolutely
not true. Those,
Well, I think
those
the reason
12
there,
guys
though,
are not
Right,
touring the
right.
country trying to stop liberal talks.
But I think one of the reasons is that you don't have a strong right-wing Nazi or right-wing fascist presence inside of the university. The university is very much a place where liberalism is hegemonic. And when you violate certain
All right. So what Cornel West is saying, like the reason why there's no opposition to liberals that preach their BS as well, you did because they got BS with them too. But he's saying the reason why there's no opposition because a lot of these campuses that the conservatives go to, like the Louder Crowder, the Charlie Kirks, they go to these campuses, the Ben Shapiro's, they go to campuses with a large liberal presence. Why? Because they want to debate the liberals. So what Cornel West is saying, like that's why that's the case. He's saying like there's no large conservative or right wing or Nazi, whatever presence that opposes liberal viewpoints in certain colleges. That's all he's saying to her. That's why they don't need security because when they speak, they're speaking to their own. They're speaking to a liberal presence. They're not going to debate conservatives to spark, damn, skip to spark, some type of controversy or some type of outrage. I mean, that's just clear. That's just clear. You dig? Like they're not doing that. They're not trying to spark debate. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but when you spark debate, especially political debate, yeah, you're going to get folks who's going to try to take you out. They're going to try to delete you. You see what happened to our current standing president. They tried to delete the guy because of his political views. And guess what? They were conservatives. You dig? So liberals go wild like anybody else.
Sensibilities of a variety of different liberals, then they can be intolerant. What you're calling fascist is intolerant. Going against that grain focuses much more on you. Now, you and I share a deep indictment of liberalism and neoliberalism. You do it from the right, mine is from the left. But because my understanding of the severe limitations of liberalism does incorporate certain elements of.
Hey, Kwame and American Dream, I gave y'all wrenches because I don't want nobody blocking y'all or timing you guys out because you got new FBA supporters who might time you out, but you guys are guests, right? You're reoccurring guests, so I don't want nobody time you out. But y'all can't talk reckless though because my audience who support me gonna look at y'all like why they got a wrench and they talking reckless. So you gotta be easy, bro, because then I gotta take the wrench from you because I can't do that. I can't give a wrench to somebody who my audience believe is offensive. So be easy. I gotta take the wrench. But I want y'all not to get timed out, not to get blocked, which are making it difficult for me. I gotta take the wrench when y'all be saying crazy stuff. I can't let down my family, my lineage, you dig?
Of it. And you don't have strong Nazi presence in the university. You hardly.
So that's what Cornel is saying right now, Cornel West, about the Nazi presence. Like that's not there. But check this out. Watch this right here.
They have strong conservative presence in the university.
You don't have a strong Nazi presence
are much
anywhere.
more liberal than they are conservative. No, you got it.
Okay, so the suspicious, and I'm gonna share the video in a second. Okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, so the white supremacist suspect, right, said that you don't have a strong Nazi presence anywhere. So don't forget, this is the name of the game. The name of the game is to deny white supremacy exists, to deny that systemic racism exists. They don't use those words. They only acknowledge racism, and they say racism is from anybody, right? They're not going to concede that the attacks are from the dominant society, which is white. Don't forget, they're going to borrow the Jared Taylor perspective that blacks are violent, and we got to bring that up. We got to bring that. So when we talk to these folks, we got to bring up, hey, do you believe that blacks are more violent? Do you believe in Jared Taylor's research, his findings, his assessment that blacks are more violent towards whites at an exponential number, at an exponential rate? Or do you think that's skewed and flawed? So I'm going to actually play the video, okay? So you can see them.
Of liberalism does incorporate certain elements of it, and you don't have strong Nazi presence in the university. You hardly have strong conservative presence in the university.
You don't have a strong Nazi presence
much
anywhere.
More liberal than they are.
So he said you don't have a strong Nazi presence anywhere. No, I'm saying, hey, Kwame, I'm saying you can give your opinion, you can give your opposition to our ideology. That's not a problem. The chat will debate you. I'm saying just don't be don't be OD. Like, don't be OD like where it seems like you're trolling, because they're gonna wonder why you got a rich, and I'm gonna go with my family over you, my lineage over you. So you dig? So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want to silence you guys. I don't want to censor you guys to a large degree. I want you guys to freely give your opposition, right? I don't want just FBAs in the chat. I want also folks who don't agree with us in the chat. That's good for conversation, but you just gotta be political in how you talk. Like, just don't be over the board, because they're gonna want to know why you got a wrench, and then I gotta make that. Well, I don't want to do that. I want you guys to have a wrench and be free to give sources, to provide links and things like that. But I'm not trying to censor you. I'm just trying to say, like, because when I'm in somebody's, if I'm in Bucci Bear chat I'm not talking too crazy. I just wise because he's gonna block me or time me out. I'm gonna express my opposition, right? My oppositional views, but I'm gonna be smart about it. That's all. Just be smart about it.
Conservative. No, you got it in Idaho
In a shooting range in
and
Alabama?
Utah. You got some places in the country that have some white supremacist militia and KKK, and you agree the KKK is fascist, right?
Well, I agree with him that I just don't know where it is in this country. So I've been able to travel to 47 countries over the past, 47 states over the past year, and I've not encountered or seen any pockets where I've seen Ku Klux Klan members. Do I believe that racism still exists? Of course.
Okay, so now watch this. So now her racism ain't your racism. And even I think American Dream and Kwame will agree with how we define racism. I don't think you guys will agree with how Candace Owens defines racism. Okay, because when I say black, when I'm not specific, when I just say black, I'm talking about black people globally, you dig, or black people in this country. When I want to be specific, I would say foundational Black Americans or ADOS or American freedmen. But if I just say Black people, I'm being inclusive. Okay. So I don't believe you guys that's non-FBAs will agree with Candace Owens' definition of racism and racist. You'll hear it in a second. I believe you guys agree with us when we say racism is one way, is whites attacking and have these ideologies towards us. Let me just make that very clear. That's too slow to be a mosquito? All right. So here we are.
47 states over the past year, and I've not encountered or seen any pockets where I've seen Ku Klux Klan members. Do I believe that racism still exists? Of course, racism still exists. By the way, it's always going to exist. There's always going to be black people that hate white people. There's going to be white people that hate black people.
Okay, so you hear her definition of racism. She reduced racism to just to be. Wait, what's she saying? Let me just quote her verbatim.
Always going to exist. There's always going to be black people that hate white people. There's going to be white people that hate black people.
Okay, she said white people that hate black people and black people that hate white people. Ma'am, how is it possible we hate white people? Now, you have your extremists, but even those extremists, like Dr. Khalid Muhammad, he's definitely extreme, right? And he definitely hated white people. But even those people, they're hating with a cause. They're hating you because you hate him. You hate us. Like, listen, when you have laws like Jim Crow, you hate us. When you have systems like apartheid, you hate them. When you have caste systems in Brazil and the UK, where black people are subjected to white people, you hate them. Okay? They don't hate you, you hate them. So your hate introduces laws. Your hate introduces crime bills. Your hate introduces certain politicians in position to deprive black people from necessities. What do our hate transpire to? And your hate also transpires to violence in the large way, and discrimination, where your hate got things passed like Civil Rights Act. Your hate got things passed like the 1863 decree that Abraham Lincoln to involve FBAs to fight in the Civil War. Like your hate sparked that. What hate did we have spark a major national change like that? Will you stop it? And by the way, I'm gonna do a video. And you got black folks in Brazil that's in a second caste system who are facing racial discrimination on a daily basis. Okay, so you got the South Africans, you got our brothers in the UK, you got our family in Brazil who are all facing second caste caste system. I'm sorry, it's caste systems and second class citizenship. Okay, that's a fact. And then you got us over here, but and that's all bad. Okay, but what we face in America is unique to those in Brazil, It's unique from those in the UK. It's unique to those in South Africa. So they're all doing bad because of white supremacy and systemic racism. But we're doing worse than all of them combined. I'm gonna do a video on that. Okay, I got the numbers. Like Tone Talk says, I got the numbers.
But the question of whether this is some organized cell in our country that has a lot of power, I strongly disagree with that.
Yeah, so let me give Bell Battlecat a wrench. Battlecat says she don't see them. Okay, right. They're not saying, "Hey, look at me." Like, what? Listen. There's a reason why the KKK wear hoods on their head. They don't. They're ashamed. You dig? I respect. That's why some people get mad at some foundation Black Americans who would rather a conservative person in a political position like Donald Trump to call major shots because we like to see our racism like flat out. We don't want somebody wearing a hood. So when Candace Owens brilliantly pointed out that the KKK were Democrats, right? They're hiding their racism. Nah, take that hood off. Like the Jared Tellers, the Richard Spencers, right? The Nick Fuentes, the like let us see you for who you are. Be brave. Don't be afraid to be a racist. Stand on your square. You dig? And that's why we rather have certain conservatives in power to see the racism. We don't want a liberal in power who's racist, but he got a hood on. Thank you, Candace Owens, for pointing out that the KKK were liberals and they were Democrats. They might not have been liberals, but they were Democrats for sure. I know. I get it. I know liberals. Okay. They were so correction. They might not have been liberals, but they were Democrats for sure. So pardon me. You dig? Let's get it.
I wouldn't say it has a lot of power. I would say it has some presence. I mean, they have empirical investigations, though, my dear sister, where you've got.
See, my dear sister, like he just too like she's going for his juggler, while he's my dear sister, my black queen, my stars, and the moon, and like, dude, you don't got to do that, bro. This is 2025, but but now Cornel, I like Cornel West. He's smart, he's educated, and he's brilliant. Okay, I this is his approach, so I can't be mad at it. I'm glad he had the discussion, but I would like more, and he's the perfect guy to have in front of her. But I wish he didn't appeal to you know to his image. Like he got to be well. Like I wish like you do. You're older, dude. You like 60, 70. It's okay to be more like Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is Caribbean. We support Minister Louis Farrakhan, even though he is anti-Semitic. We support certain things that he stand up. We don't support everything because he is anti-Semitic. But you could be more fiery because Mr. Louis Farrakhan, he knows how to talk like Cornel West, but still be passive aggressive. And Cornell could do that. And I don't like when liberals like Cornel West and Mark Lamont Hill just be passive. Dude, you could be passive aggressive because you'll see Candace is pure aggressive.
Over 600 and some white.
Yeah, definitely hit the like button. Like I said earlier before, I reach out to content creators who disagree with FBA talking points, and I use my my likes and views as leverage. So if you guys can go to my past videos and just press like, that'll do a lot for me. You don't this guy. Okay, somebody calls, I end the call and they say call back, dude. Okay, like I said, you don't gotta watch. You should watch the video, but if you're not gonna watch it, just go to my past videos and just, okay, that's going to be a view, and just like the video. That gives me leverage for other content creators who are anti-FBA to come on the show. If they see that they got more views and likes than me, then they're like, nah, it's no game. But don't forget, they're clout chasers, so they're chasing the clout. The clout are the views and likes. Okay, so give me the clout, and we'll get these clowns on here, and I'm gonna cook them. And I'm still going to call in Myron Gaines, and I'm going to cook him. Okay, so that's still going to happen. That's still the plan. That's going to happen this year. Okay.
Supremacist militia groups, some of whom have death threats. And the FBI keeps track of them because the FBI infiltrates them.
Where are they?
I don't know where they are because I
That's
don't.
the problem. See, that should tell you that they're not a presence because we're two black Americans, and we're two black Americans. We should.
I mean, the FBI is not going to be lying. I'm not a fan of the FBI.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of either. But I'm saying is that if this was something that was so obvious. Two black Americans sitting here, I'd be like, I'll tell you exactly where they are because I walk down the street over here. They're in Virginia, in this city, in this town. They meet here on Sundays. Every black American that I ask that says there's a Nazi or a KKK presence, you just go, where? They go, I don't know, I read it somewhere. And I think that that's unacceptable.
Well, they also cite this SPLC hate map that looks like post offices.
I'm on the SPLC list.
Yeah. Okay. Now, that's the part I'm talking about. She said, I'm on the SL whatever list. Yeah, you should be on the list. Like she's acting like she should not be on the list. And this is what I'm trying to say with Cornel West. Bro, you could be passive aggressive. He should have said, well, you say certain things. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're on the list. What can I say? I'm not on the list because I don't say things like that. And but she's saying I'm on the list as though she should not be on the list. No, you should be on the list. Candace Owens, you say the most disrespectful things possible to not just FBAs, but to blacks and others, Latinos, and even like the trans, like that community. Like you say the most crazy stuff. You should be on the list. I agree. They got that right. You're on the list. You deserve to be on there. Congratulations. You're not a victim. You deserve to be on the list. But she's saying it like hey, look at me. I'm a woman. I'm only 110 pounds. I'm 5'2". I can't hurt nobody. I shouldn't be on the list. No, you got millions of subscribers and you got hundreds of thousands of views to every video you post. You should be on the goddamn list. Because what you're saying is stupid.
SPLC hate map that looks like post offices.
I'm on the SPLC list.
They say, I would love to have the views similar to Candace Owens or somewhere close. I would love, because she debated Mark Lamont Hill and he had gloves on debating her. I would love for her to talk to me. But of course, I got to get there. She'll never talk to me with the subscription and views I get. But I'm saying I would love to talk to her because I'm not putting on gloves. Like we're gonna talk as equals, you dig? And stop. And I'm and look, she can call back. We can talk about pro-life, pro-choice. We can talk about everything she's talking about now, but and even pro-life, pro-choice. Like my range is that deep. You dig? So I would love to cook her, but I'm probably will never because whatever the reason. But that's my goal is to talk to her. But I will. So Myron is a done deal because he takes calls from random. So that's going to happen. But other folks who need to gain from the opposition, like her, like she talks to Mark Lamont Hill, she talks to this guy, Cornel West, Dr. Cornel West. I want to give it a shot, and I believe she would talk to Turk Nasheed. I'm surprised he never reached out to her, or if he did, I'm surprised that never went through. But we need to put some pressure on our brother Turk Nasheed, even Tone Talk and Yvette Cornell. Like, hey man, reach out to Candace Owens. Like, let's get this discussion. But the fact it didn't happen. That's an alley-oop dunk for me. And I believe I got what it takes to cook her.
Tell me what the SPLC is now.
The Southern Poverty Law Center has these hate maps. And you look at it, and it honestly looks like post offices. They're everywhere.
You hear this black devil? I'm on it. Yeah, she tried to smile. I'm on it. You should be on it, you black devil. How you talking?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And you go, that's
Pinky Peace.
Same is true. The Anti-Defamation League will tell you that there are hate groups against black folk, against Jews, against Muslims, against a variety of different
I'm going
to
answer your question.
And they've got some data.
But they're
also not considered a credible source.
They're not because they're funded. They're not. They're funded leftists. They're funded leftist.
Oh no, anti-defamation is not leftist. Now they're coming at me tooth and nail.
I sat in Congress with them, and I'm telling you right now,
they're not leftist.
If you saw my recent thing,
you see, so they pointed out whatever group that made her a whatever group they put on some anti whatever they put her on. And then she brought the ADL. And then he's like, nah, they're not leftists. So you can't make somebody leftist. You dig? Like, that's the thing. Like, you got to stop this. If they don't claim to be leftists, they're not. Like, you don't claim to be leftist, you're not. You're right. So nobody can make you leftist either. Okay. And then Cornel West said, nah, they're not leftists. They come at me. I'm left. And they come at me. So like they're not. As you can see, like Donald Trump supports Israel. He's conservative and he's left. He's right. I'm sorry, he's right. And you got the Bidens of the world who support Israel. So all presidents support Israel. Like let's just stop this bullshit. You dig? And they're not left or right. They like, hey, they're like us. They're like FBA, and they're like black people, even who's non-FBA, who's black. They're like us. Like we're like fair game. Like, hey man, what can you do for us? But American Dream said, Ron, so blacks can be white supremacists, but they can't be racist. No. Hey, bro, I argue I'm different than the other guys. That's FBA. I argue black people and Foundation Black Americans can be racist. Okay, I don't say we can't, like Dr. Clark Anderson and other folks. I say we can be racist, but that's something different. Okay, we can be racist, but we're not race supremacists. And if I made that shit up. We're not race supremacists. Like so it goes back to power. So we can be racist and we got a little bit of power. So we got some power, so we can be racist. But we're not racist to a degree where we can and we can like influence legislation. Okay, we're not there yet. Or we can influence a judge ruling, you dig? Or we can influence like where the funds go, statewide or national, you dig? So that's what I'm talking about, my boy. So but we could be racist. Racism is a real thing. Racism and racist is a real thing. Any race can be racist and racism, but American Dream found black people, not just foundational, even you. We don't have a history of creating laws and making rulings against people who are non-black because they're non-black and subjecting them to poverty or prison assistance that wasn't supposed to be.
In Congress, I was sitting with all of these professors and all of these people that were, and they had no numbers. And they said, well, we don't know the numbers, but we do know that it's happening. So,
hey, American Dream, you might want to call in. Okay, I'm gonna cook you, but it's a love cook, bro. When I cook you, it's a love cook. Pause. It's a love cook. I ain't cooking you like now. If you was Nick Fuentes, it's Jared Taylor. That's a different cook. Like you're my brother. You know what I mean? You family. But I'm a cookie though, as a family member. But call in with that. With that you just said, the black man's guy. Call in with that question. I'm gonna cook you like I normally do, but I want you to call in with that question.
So to me, that seems like a means to control black Americans. This is what I talk about. If this was such a big issue that we had to be worried about it, we wouldn't need an FBI report to tell us.
Please,
no one needed my grandpa growing up in the South with the real KKK. He wasn't waiting on an FBI report to tell him that the KKK was there.
True.
They were outside his door, shooting bullets inside. He was running to the back of his house. So this now we have people that are more fearful, and yet there's less evidence, except they keep saying that there are reports and there are groups that are telling them. That's what I think we have to step outside of.
Where my spray?
You got all these different.
What kind of bug is that? Damn!
On folk, not just in churches, but people with death threats and so forth.
That bug bites you dead.
These folk who supposedly are keeping track on the sources of these threats say that they're not just falling from the sky. There's got to be some networks that are in place.
Well, they say that Candace and I are the networks. They say that Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin are the networks.
I don't think nobody said Sister Candace is head of any
I'm
kind of...
I'm on the SPLC list. They put some map on it. They said that I was radicalizing people on the internet. Is it?
You are 304. You are 304. and you're very aggressive. And even though I disagree with Saint in the Center on a lot of talking points. Saint in the Center is a cult leader. But he has, if you check his videos, if y'all go to the Saint channel, he has some videos where he's challenging people who support Candace Owens. And I think he did a good job of cooking everybody who supported Candace Owens. You see, I'm unbiased. Even though I disagree with Saint in the Center. I think he's a fraud. He's a scammer. He's not rich. He's fake rich. But when I believe he was right about Candace Owens that he cooked all of her supporters. So if you go to his channel and you watch his debates with folks who support Candace Owens, I think he did a great job exposing Candace Owens. And really, like he came at Candace Owens at an angle nobody ever did, and it was genius. It was genius. Like the dude is smart. He just pseudo. You could be smart, like Thomas Sowell smart, Larry Elder smart, but they're just pseudo. Can't rock with them. You dig? They're evil geniuses. But the Saint, he did a great job cooking Candace Owens supporters, and the angle he took was genius. I ain't gonna lie. Like I give credit. Salute. The dude cooked them, bruh. Better than I ever could. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give folks credit.
It's such a radical idea to think that Black Americans can do it without government handouts. Okay, then guilty as charged, because that's literally what I go around.
Okay, so now this is where I believe I'm the most qualified. I'm more qualified than anybody to address Candace Owens when she talk about government handouts to foundational Black Americans and Black people, period. Okay, I believe I'm the most qualified to that. Like I have debates where I debated DJ Focus on welfare. And listen, I'm gonna just summarize. Welfare is a great thing, just like driving is a great thing. But you can drive under the influence of alcohol and kill people. I think arming yourself, defending your home, standing your ground is a great thing. But somebody could take a weapon and do a mass deletion. Okay. So you could take a great thing and make it evil, but you're just evil. That the great thing is still the great thing. All right. The great thing is still the great thing.
And I say on stage, I say Black Americans to do it without government guilty as charged.
Okay. So welfare is a great thing. There's a reason why when immigrants come over here, 3 ways immigrants come over here that I know of. Educate me of a 4th way. But 3 ways, Unbiased Ron research, FBA News and Updates, FBA Defensive Unit, Unbiased Ron, like I said, that I know of, how immigrants get over here. Number 1 is illegal, of course. Illegal. Number 2 is asylum seekers. And number 3 would be, I'm talking about poor immigrants. Poor. Let me add that there. Poor immigrants come over here 3 ways, 3 different ways. 1, illegally. 2, asylum seeker. And 3, a refugee. What the fuck is that? So now, if they're not coming here that way, they got bread, they got high education, high IQ. Okay? So I'm speaking to the poor immigrants. So when poor immigrants come over here, illegals, asylum seekers, refugees, they're coming here and they're getting welfare. And from welfare, from welfare, that's a building block. That's a step to own their own business, landscaping, or whatever, painting, whatever the hell they do. You dig? But welfare has always been here as a stepping stone to do something great. Okay, so white people, okay, and I'm gonna play it. White people have took welfare also as a stepping stone to do something great. When Black Americans took on welfare, white media, specifically conservative media, not liberal, conservative media demonized welfare as a bad thing, but that that demonization from conservative media, they did not speak out when white folks were taking welfare. Welfare was originated for white people. So welfare is a great tool. Welfare is a great asset if used correctly. If you think welfare is the end game, you got a misconception of welfare. Welfare is not the end game. Welfare is to get you back on your feet to do something greater. Welfare is a great tool when you're on your ass. Okay? Now, conservatives seeing welfare benefit white society, right? And then when black folks were eligible for welfare, they now made welfare something like taboo, like bad, you're lazy. But they didn't say that when white folks were on welfare. And by the way, when white folks were on welfare, welfare were exclusive to just white folks. Black folks cannot get welfare. They excluded black people from welfare. So welfare is so bad, then why did white people get welfare collectively, liberals and conservatives together? And why did it exclude black family, black single mothers? See, this is why y'all can't do nothing with me, because you don't know the history of these things. I will cook you, okay? And I will cook Candace Owens. Listen to this stupid shit.
That's literally what I go around and I say on stage. I say Black American to do without government handouts. I am now across the board.
Now, she said Black Americans can do without government handouts. Now, Cornel West did not address that. Now, I believe he's qualified to address that, but I don't believe he has this heart to address that. He don't have what I have, what we have, what you guys have to address that, okay? Because what I would have said was, hold up, what's a handout? So this handout, white Americans receive by themselves exclusively. You dig? So like that. So trust. That's why my dream is to get the views, get the subscription, get the likes. So I can confront Candace Owens on the stupid shit that Cornel West and those Mark Lamont Hill, those who debate her, talk to her, are too afraid to bring up. You dig? I ain't doing it. I'm bringing this up because I'm unbiased. That's my name is Unbiased for a reason. Like, dude, I'm gonna call you out.
Government handouts. Okay.
Okay. So I would say, hold on, just 1 second, sis. Okay, I'll call her sis just for conversation to get her to relax. Are you saying welfare is a handout? I want to answer right away. Okay. Welfare was originally created for who? So were they giving handouts? So handouts isn't a bad thing, is it? Okay, the 1862 Homestead Act, that was a handout of land grants, land. How about land grants? How about land? Was that a handout? How about the HOLC? How about the FHA? How about the GI Bill? How about the New Deal? Was that handouts for white folks? Oh, so handouts is a great thing. Handouts built middle class America, the suburbs. So why is handouts all of a sudden bad now? You see, I need to talk to her. It's Cook City.
Then guilty as charged, because that's literally what I go around and I say on stage. I say Black American to do without government handouts. I am now across the board. They say that I'm radical and I'm poisoning people. They tried to blame me for inspiring a mass shooting in New Zealand, saying that this person got radicalized by my ideas of Black conservatism in America. I mean, they play really horrible stuff, and fortunately for you, because you hail in liberal land, you are a liberal.
Well, I'm not liberal now. I'm a leftist.
You're a leftist.
I'm a leftist. I'm critical, yeah.
What's the difference in your liberal and
the difference is liberalism refuses to engage in a critique of capitalism, refuses to engage in a critique of empire and imperial policies, and it refuses to engage in the milquetoast character of the Democratic Party. Liberals are in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, this dude's brilliant.
I have a critique of the milquetoast character of the Democratic Party.
Okay.
When you talk about the plantation of the Democratic Party, I'm with you wholeheartedly. I've talked about the Obama plantation. We can talk about the Clinton plantation and so forth. Now, I come right back and say, You know, there's a Trump plantation too. All of these politicians, all of these parties have their plantations.
Well, I'm
not a party person in that sense.
I don't tell people that you can go anywhere and hear me speak. There's nowhere where I tell people that they should abandon the Democrat Party and go to the Republican Party.
But you got a critique of the Democratic Party, Democratic leadership.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
Absolutely.
And Republican leadership as well. I mean, there are people in the Republican Party, I still have absolutely no respect, God bless his soul, for John McCain, the Paul Ryan types. I regularly critique those people
she
too.
does.
But
She does.
it doesn't make the head.
And this is why I don't call her an extremist. I don't call Candace. She's definitely a right-wing conservative, but I don't call her an extremist because what she's saying is correct. She does call out, like she called out Donald Trump. So, but she's still wrong. She's still pseudo. You dig? She's still whatever I said she is. But I'm unbiased. I gotta agree. Candace Owens is not an extremist, right? She's a regular conservative. So I gotta admit that. She does call out Republicans. She's not lying, right? But how do I know that? Because I am who I am.
It doesn't make the headlines, right? So, I mean, I critique both. What I advocate for is independence. And particularly government independence and shrinking government. You know, I believe in free markets and a limited government structure. That's pretty much what I believe. And yeah, I'm painted as this horrific model.
Yeah, just a quick summary. So Republicans are anti-government because government to them is the Union, right? The Union had fought to end slavery. So when you hear government, when you guys hear government, just think about the Union who defeated the Confederates. That's all. When you think of the conservatives, when you think of them, the leftists, just think of the Confederates. That's all. But when you think of the conservative, I said that backwards. When you think of Republicans, when you think of conservatives, just think of the Confederacy. That's all. Okay. She won't say shit against the Confederacy that lost in the war against the Union with our help. Okay. So that's just a summary. So when you think of Republicans, when you think of conservatives, just think of the Confederacy. That's all. When you think of liberals and Democrats, just think of the Union. Like that. That's a quick way to just analyze everything going forward. You're welcome.
Monster. I mean, you saw it after our debate. Like, we had a debate, and it's like, headlines, big explosion. That's not how I felt ending that debate. That's not how you felt. I emailed, tried to get him on the show, but that's what they need. They need to make it seem like we're constantly at war.
Well, you're a huge threat to the left.
Sensationalize. They sensationalize these kind of things all the time for their own ends, for their own gain. No, but I didn't mean to interrupt. Go right ahead.
No. And I think Candace is a threat to the left because she's bringing blacks to Trump, and without the black vote, the DNC.
If Candace Owens, Larry Elder, or Thomas Sowell is bringing you to Trump, you are the biggest fool. Okay, Candace Owens is a fool. Larry Elder, as brilliant as he is, Thomas Sowell, same way, because they're conservative, you have to dumb yourself down. Okay, if you're a black conservative, you are a fool. I'm gonna put the link out there. You'll have your chance. You'll get cooked. But if you are a black conservative, you are a fool because you gotta dumb yourself down to conservative talking points.
DNC is done forever. Can you maybe explain what Blexit is?
Yeah, so I mean, I started the black exit from the Democrat Party we've seen pretty much the same thing. The Democrats, it's undoubtedly have taken advantage of the black vote over the last 6 decades. I mean, that is you cannot question that. And any black person in good conscience that sits down and says that the Democrat Party has not taken advantage of the black vote, in my opinion, is a bad moral character. And you have to watch those bad faith actors. To me, Blexit is about reminding the black community that we are staunchly conservative. We are conservative. You cannot untether the black community from our faith. You know, I grew up in a very Christian household. You cannot untether the black community, although the government has systemically attempted it, from the family. I grew up and my grandfather was all about the family. These are largely conservative principles now, as you have the left is advocating really for the disruption of family. Trans, men can be women and women should be men, and kids should pick their gender, and
All right. So I sent the link for American Dream. Click the link. I gotta wake my son up. So I need time to do that. So go ahead, click the link, bro. I'm I'm a I'm gonna go off camera to bring my son outside. But go ahead, click the link, bro. I'm back. Let me invite. Let them get themselves together. I'm gonna do a part two on this because we're not done. We're like far from done on the Candace Owens debate. With we got we got about 30, 40 more minutes. Golden Brown, peace, man. This your first time over here because you ain't got a wrench. Hey, like the video, man. Hey, American Dream, where you at?
Peace, Ron. How are you?
Yeah, peace. Okay, what's your issue? You asked for the link. Let's get it.
Um, yeah. So when you first started the Candace video, you said you disagreed with her definition of racism
Yeah,
because she said black people
right,
were racist.
right. Wait, no,
And
no.
then you also
I said it because she tried to equate black racist with white racism. Okay, she said there's I'm not even sure which term she used. Either she said black racist or black racism. She might have said, I don't, I got to rewind it. But anyway, when folks say black racist, yeah, you got individuals, you got white individuals, right? But then you got racism, okay, that acts that as one unit and it gets things done, it achieves a goal. So if you say black races, now you can say black races because there are black races, there are foundation black American races. But when you say racism, you got to prove that now. You got to show that we have an orchestrated system out here to deprive whites of American liberties. Okay, so then the burden of proof becomes on you now. But go ahead.
Well, you know, for one thing, you are kind of denying blacks of, I mean, white people of their freedom, of their American freedom of speech, for example, because they're not allowed to use the N word. If they use the N word, they get beat up. So
No,
that
no,
could be
no,
one way that
no,
you
no,
deny them
no,
of their
no,
freedoms.
no, 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 no. That's a lie. Um, a lot of black folks, bro, I don't know what stereotype you read into, but again, bro, we're not a monolith. Like that's not a guarantee a whooping. Some blacks beat you up. Some blacks don't. Okay.
So
Matter
the
of fact,
blacks that beat you up are practicing racism.
hold on. That has nothing to do with racism. That's calling somebody a word that they find offensive. For example, if I call a random man that I'm mad at a coward, he might beat me up or challenge me to a fight, or he may not. So that's not something that's guaranteed. That's something that's a trigger word, like the N word. That's nothing guaranteed now because you have freedom of speech. Now, guess what? If somebody called me the N word and I beat them up, and the officer, I mean, I can. That's my right. I can fight, right? I can go fight. I might go to jail, but I can do that. If you call me a coward or hey, you a PUSSY, I might respond to that, right? It might trigger me, and I might fight you and go to jail because you will go to jail. But okay, because that's freedom of speech. But on your job, we have no control of your job safety, your security. So on the job, if you say the N word, what's going to happen to you most likely?
If a white person uses the N word on the job,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And call a black person that and just in the open where people can hear it. Well, most likely, what's going to happen to them?
most likely the black person probably report it and he'd get fired.
Right. Okay. So now that got nothing to do with racism for us, black folks. That got everything to do with white racism.
Yeah, but I'm talking about even when white people use the N word in a as a term of endearment the way we do, they can still get beat up for that.
Well, it depends. It depends
No, I've
on.
seen it happen.
Okay, right. That's anecdotal. What I'm saying it depends because I've seen it not happen because I'm from Jersey, and
But when it
Jersey,
does happen, that would be racism.
no, it won't be racism. The person, okay, listen, the person feels like the other person's racist, right? So it's racist to the person who said it, not to the person who swung the fist. Like for example, if I call somebody who's part of the LGBTQIA plus community the FAG word, okay, and they let off for me, I wouldn't call them something like a hate crime. I was consider myself that because I'm the person who said it, and they put hands and feet on me. Or if
But
if
they
I
don't
call
use but they don't use that term as a term of endearment like we use the N word as a
no
term
no
of
no,
endearment.
but
So I'm
no
asking
no no
about
wait
when
wait
if I
no no
could
wait
just
wait
finish.
wait 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 no I gotta cut you off. You're lying. I've definitely heard them call themselves FAG. Matter of fact, women call themselves BITCH. Okay, so the people who are victims of the word of the racism, they normally take it on and call themselves that in some type of friendly environment, friendly way. So you're lying. I got to check. I got to cut you off. Check you on that. I heard women call themselves the BITCH word and the HOE word, right? But if a man says it, it's a problem. And the same thing with the LGBT, the rainbow community. What they call themselves FAG and all type of words that be offensive and a hate crime or hate, some type of hate violation. Had we say it, so you're lying. So most people, and also the Jewish people, they call themselves the same words that seem as offensive. So people who are victimized of words that's offensive or hateful words, racist words, anti-Semitic, and anti, or homophobic words, those people can use those words. You can't, as a not part of that community. So you're lying right there. I'm gonna check you.
Ron, the same way there are some gays allow non-gays to call them fag or whatever as a term of endearment. They allow some people to do it and others they
Yeah.
don't.
Okay, right.
So
Okay.
when
Right.
so if
Wait.
so
Hold.
if and I'm saying, Ron, if a white person uses the term the N word the way like Fat Joe, for example, there are some black people that accept Fat Joe using the N word. And some
Right.
black people, the minute they hear Fat Joe using it, even when he uses it the same way we do, they want to beat him up.
No. Okay, but what's your point? I heard that. Right. So that's the evidence. Now, what's your
No, so my
point?
point is, you said they're not being racist because they're not controlling people. But if you're beating people up for using a word that you use, aren't you controlling them? And why isn't
No.
that racist
No. Because there's
or
something called.
racism?
Got it. No. There's something called trauma and triggering words. Okay, so I don't know what your angle is today, but it's not gonna work. So there's something called trauma. You're being traumatized, and there's words that trigger you. Okay, so when people are traumatized, there are triggering words. So that's why we can't say. That's why we got to say SA. That's why we can't say FAG. We got it. You just did like a goofy, but we don't say that. We just say that. We just spell it out because we know that people are sensitive to those words because they're traumatizing to certain individuals. We don't even we say the N word for a reason, my boy. You just said it. So don't say the word FAG. Just say FAG because these are
Okay, what
triggering
about
words.
okay? So let me just ask you, is that
Yeah.
only for Black Americans, or what about blacks in South Africa that where they say there's a genocide against white people? Is that considered racism?
Is there genocide against white people?
Yeah, they say there's a yeah. That's what Trump said. That's
Yeah.
actually what
Well.
there was a one of the white
Okay.
guys who came with the South African president claimed that his own grandmother was attacked and
Okay.
and had to leave.
So
So I'm
watch this.
asking you, in South Africa, where there's
I
a
heard.
genocide against white people, is that considered racism?
No, it's called a genocide. I mean, now I'm gonna ask you. I answered the question. I heard you out.
It's called a
Okay. So
genocide.
okay. So watch this. In Rwanda, with the Tutsis and the Hutus. Was that racism or just a genocide? Go ahead, you. It's on you.
I would say it's both. I would say it was a genocide based on
They're the
race. I mean,
same.
the reason.
The same people. No, first of all, it was. Wait, hold on, bro. Before you do this, let me caution you, bro. I know a lot of that history. Okay, that's on my channel publicly. I debated somebody on that, so I want to caution you. Okay, if you
But
don't
it
know the
sounds like you're
history,
saying genocide can't be racism.
no, wait. Okay, no, I'm not. Look. What I'm saying is, it's called a genocide for a reason because genocides happen. It has nothing to do with racism. It is more to that. So that's why it's
But it
called a.
can be. You're saying a genocide cannot be about racism,
Well,
Ron?
okay. Wait, hold on. So when white folks did what they did to us in America, was that called a genocide? Was it called a racist? Was it called racist or racism?
When they did what? When they
No,
enslaved black
ki
people?
outright killed us. Outright killed us. Was that a genocide? Was that
What are you
racism?
talking about? Which event are you talking about?
Uh, Killings. White killing black people in America. If you don't know the history, just say you don't know it. But white folks killing
I
black
gotta
people
know what you're
outright.
talking about. Like white people kill
Okay.
black people out of self-defense
Okay.
sometimes, and that's
Wait,
not
no.
racism.
Okay. Hey,
It
no. Okay,
depends on
brother.
the situation.
Got it. I'm gonna help you out. I'm saying in the Jim Crow and earlier, when white folks killed black folks, was that racism or was that genocidal?
In America, I don't think what happened in America has ever been considered genocide.
wait,
So I would, yeah.
wait,
So
hold,
I
hold
would
on, hold
say
on.
that,
Wait, okay.
yeah,
So here's your problem. Is wasn't it only one way?
wasn't what only one way.
The killing, the
The
murders, the
lynchings
sense.
and stuff.
No, not just
For the
lynchings.
most
This,
part, yes.
hey, bro, listen. It's me. It's
I said
me.
for the most part,
Okay,
yes.
no. Okay, hold on. It's me. I'm just saying it's me. You won't whatever you can get off on other people, it's not gonna happen over here. I'm saying you got one race killing another race for little to no reasons. Okay, you're not gonna pin me to a certain point and say lynchings. No, I'm talking about. I just said Jim Crow and earlier. So earlier, we're talking about the 1600s, 1500s. That wasn't lynching, senseless killings. So I'm saying, where those murders were those genocidal or racism, murders based on racism.
I wouldn't say they were genocide. I would say they were
Okay,
racism, but it wasn't
okay.
genocide.
So why wouldn't they be called genocide?
Um, because for the most part, the people they were killing were, there was no concerted effort to kill all black people. The people that were being killed were people they thought looked at a white woman funny, stuff like that, just like isolated cases.
Hey, 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 bro,
There
I
was
brought
no,
you,
there was
bro,
no effort to go out and just kill all black people.
I brought you to the 1600 or even earlier. I said so before what you're talking about. You're talking about after emancipation, bro. You're talking about Jim Crow. I said Jim Crow up until like the 1500s. So those murders,
The 15, 1600s, those
yeah,
murders of black people.
yeah.
Well, in the 1600s, how many black people were in America in the first place during that
No,
time?
no, no. It don't matter. It could be two. If you kill two, if you kill the two remaining, is that racism or genocidal?
No, again, I don't think it's genocide.
Okay, right,
No.
right. That okay, good. That's your opinion. But other folks could look at it as a genocide. People have. That's the thing.
So you're saying a genocide. So you're saying racism can lead to genocide.
It can.
Okay, so I'm
Okay.
asking you, why is what's going on? Why is the genocide in South Africa not racism?
Okay. So for one, do you know the history of South Africa?
A little bit.
Okay, so now you just said stand your ground. You said that earlier. You said defending yourself, right? Did you earlier say defending yourself?
Yeah, I said
Okay, yeah,
if I said if a white person
right,
kills someone in
right,
self-defense, it's not
right,
it's not
right,
racism.
right, exactly. So if somebody's occupying my land and I finally get enough strength, I find no, you could lie. I mean, you just a coon. I mean, whatever you're
So
tethered, whatever you are.
hold on. So you're
Wait, wait,
saying
wait, wait, wait. I'm not done. I didn't say it yet. I'm saying if you're occupying my land illegally, are those white folks in South Africa occupying that land legally or illegally?
legally,
Legally, they're occupying it.
yeah, they own the land legally, yes,
Okay, explain how they own the land legally. Go ahead. Who they bought it from?
because they have titles and deeds to their land.
No, but who sold the land to them?
Who sold the land to them?
Right.
It
Okay,
must
own
have
it.
been at the time. It must have been. At the time, I would guess it was the South African government.
Okay, so South Africa. So okay, you so that's your because I'm going. You know, what I'm gonna do. It's called fact check session. So you believe white folks got a hold of South Africa by deed? It was sold to them.
No, I'm saying the white people in South Africa that own
Right.
their farms have
No, no, no,
deeds
no,
and
no.
titles to
And
their
okay, no,
land
no.
and their
I'm
farms,
I'm sure they
and so
do.
they own
I
their
got it. I
property
got it. I got
legally.
it. No, bro, you cooked. Okay, right. What I'm saying is when they own the land, okay, when they got control of the land, was it sold to them or did they take it violently? That's the question, bro. It's not that deep.
The people in South Africa today,
No, 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 no,
I
no.
don't think they
Okay,
took,
hey, hey,
I
hey,
don't
hey,
think
hey,
they took
bro, bro,
anybody's land.
bro. Okay, listen, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. Is me. I don't know who you talking to. You're saying today, brother. I'm saying they got control of the land originally. I'm taking you back. Okay. So when they got control of the land originally, before the modern day South African, obviously they didn't do shit. But I'm saying they just inherited stolen land. I'm saying when their ancestors got hold of the land, did they buy it from South Africans or did they take it illegally or violently? I'm using that in the same breath. Go ahead.
I'm not that familiar with the history. I would, if I were to
Okay.
guess,
Okay. No,
if I
no, no.
if I were
No,
to.
no, no. I'd rather not. I don't do that here, bro. I don't do guess
So
here.
Ron, bro, can I ask you a question, Ron?
Wait,
Are
okay,
you
sure,
are you
but
suggesting that the native Indians today can have a genocide against all Americans and that
it
wouldn't be considered, and you wouldn't have a problem with that because we
did.
took
Wait,
their
wait, wait,
land
stop, wait, stop, stop,
illegally.
stop, stop,
We
stop.
took their
Did
land,
wait, wait, wait,
so
stop, stop,
they would
stop,
have a
stop.
right to just come
I,
to your house
I
and
got, I
just
got it, I
kill
got
you
it,
and say this is mine.
I got it. So you
Is
want
that
to
what
go
you're
for
saying?
South? Okay, so dude, you could just ask me. You gotta say that's what you're saying. I don't see when I ask you a question, I don't say is that what you're saying. I just ask you. I don't think you're gonna say anything more superior than what I'm gonna say. I'm confident in myself in my research. Now, you jump from South Africa to America, and I could deal with America a little that I could deal with that. But let's stay in South Africa first, because that's what we were talking about. You brought South Africa. I didn't
Yeah,
bring
I'm
it up.
talking
You
about
brought it.
South Africa today, and
Okay.
you're going back to South
Okay.
Africa
Okay.
300 years ago. I'm talking
Right.
about the
Right.
whites in
Okay.
South
Got it. I
Africa
got it.
today that
I got it.
own
I
their
got it.
property that are
I got it.
being killed. Is that
I got it.
race? And they're
I
being
got it.
killed because they're
I got it.
white. Is
Wait.
that
Wait, hold on.
racism?
Okay.
And you're
So
asking me about
the,
300 years ago.
dude, I don't want to mute you. Well, you entertained it, okay, until you figured you got cooked. So you didn't say, "Hey, man, let's just deal with today and let's deal with modern." You entertained how they got it originally, and you said that they
You
bought it. And
asked
I
me about it, Ron.
okay,
You're the one that
right.
asked me about it.
Okay, cool. So what
I
I'm
didn't
saying is,
entertain anything. I'm entertaining your
I got it. I got it.
questions.
Cool. Listen, listen, listen. It's cool. I'm asking you. All right, we could deal with the Native Americans later. We're in South Africa. So I'm saying the white folks who are occupying even modern day, are they occupying it legally? Meaning that, okay,
Yes, they're there legally.
okay, oh, okay,
They're South
wait,
African citizens.
according to who?
They
Wait,
have
no.
titles and deeds to their
Wait.
property.
Okay, so you're gonna just talk. I gotta mute you. So I'm trying to have a honest discussion, but with tethers, it's just impossible. Okay, so I gotta mute you. So he's saying amongst themselves is legal. I mean, there's no what they say amongst thieves, there's no robbery, right? There's no honor amongst thieves. And- okay. So if you took something illegally and you pass it down and draft up legal documentation and say, yeah, it's right. Yeah, of course, in your mind is legal because the drafting of legal documentation came after you stole it. So right now, if I steal 100 TVs from Walmart and I do an arrangement with American Dream to sell it to him legally now, I do a contract. Hey man, buy these 100 TVs from me for at a set price, and he does it. Yeah, he contractually legally bought the TVs off me. Okay, but the owner, Walmart, where the TV was stolen, they have the most they have the best claim to the TVs. So even though myself and American Dream did a legal contract for the TVs, it's stolen goods. So Walmart can say, hey, nah, okay, screw that. This overrides that arrangement because they're stolen. So you can't steal South Africa by the sword and the gun, and then amongst yourselves draft legal documentation and say, hey, this is now legally possessed, is legally owned now. Yeah. So when the Walmart, which would be the South Africans in this analogy, say, nah, that's ours. And we want it. And now that we're in a political, see what happens. See, he don't know South Africa. He don't know the history. And he said he didn't. That's why it's unfair for me to talk to these guys. He don't know the history. So he didn't even know when South Africa came out of apartheid. He doesn't know. So when they regained power, obviously they're gonna want their stuff back. Okay. And they're not gonna buy it. They're not gonna buy it. They're not gonna arrange some deal. Yo, y'all gotta go. Like how Walmart would say, hey man, I'm not about to arrange no deal with you to get my TVs back. You gotta go and you gotta give it back. Or you could go to jail or, whatever repercussions and legal things necessary to do. That's how we gonna get it. So you can't have an honest discussion with these guys. I do it for you guys. I do it to show you guys. I already know you can't have an honest discussion with these guys. Okay, and a cigarette. Okay, so that's not a genocide. That's them giving them a deadline to get out the country. Okay, look, we regained our country politically. We got the numbers. We got an army now, and we're in control of certain regions. Okay, so we want our land back. We want all this stuff back, and they're giving South Africans a a deadline. Like, hey, man, we ain't about to negotiate. This is ours. Get out. That's not a genocide. That's like, hey, you got a deadline. Leave, or this is the consequence. And I bet you, if we look into it more, I bet you, those white folks in South Africa was trying to kill them as well. It's like a little, like probably mini war. If we look into it, it's like a little mini war going on. But this guy trying to justify white folks gaining possession of South Africa is crazy. Okay, that's crazy, and that just goes to show that you can't have an honest discussion. So then he bring it to
Can I say something or
no because I want to address America now, Native American. So because
you're not gonna let me say nothing. You're just gonna.
Yeah. Well, you weren't letting me say nothing. You were talking over me, and I'm trying to talk, and you kept going.
I wasn't
Okay.
talking. I was talking over you because you was cutting me off as soon as I opened my mouth, bro.
No. You ask questions, and then
Come
you
on, Ron.
stop.
Why you gonna have me come up here and then just be cutting me off and muting me, bro?
Hey, bro, you ask questions, then you stopped. Okay, so now I want to address your Native American thing, or
That's what you just did.
I was talking about South Africa. Okay, so Native Americans, the difference between them and South Africans, that the Native Americans signed a peace treaty. So they signed off whatever genocidal thoughts they would have. They signed off to a peace. Peace means peace. It don't mean war or violence. They signed off to a peace treaty to not act in a war manner or a violent manner. They signed a peace treaty. Okay.
So how did apartheid end?
Do you know when it ended? Do you know when it ended?
I'm asking you, how did
Right.
apartheid end?
Okay,
Wasn't
so
there some type of
wait, hold on.
didn't Mandela have to sign some type of thing with the
Hold on.
government
Hey, bro,
ending apartheid?
okay, I'm asking you back. You asked a question. I'm asking you back. When did it end? What year?
I'm not sure.
Oh my God, dude, what are we doing, man? Like, listen, you said a minute ago. You said
Just
you're
answer
not
the question.
okay.
How did apartheid
No.
end?
I know. I'm not going to answer the question,
Wasn't it an agreement between blacks and whites?
bro. Well, who's in power? That's like saying Jim Crow and other things when black folks own
Regardless, it
something.
was an agreement between them,
Okay,
and they came to an
no,
agreement the same way
no,
the whites and Native Indians came to an agreement.
no, dude.
I don't
Listen,
understand what. Yeah, Ron, that's not even
all
what I
right,
came in to ask you about. Can I just, because I can't stay much longer.
yeah, please. I want to continue my show, and you kind of like ruin it with
Yeah, but the
tether
main
babble.
question I asked, the question I asked that you asked me to come up for
Yeah.
was, you said, Candace, you said black people can't be racist, but
No, I
then,
didn't say that. I didn't say that.
okay,
You're dude.
okay, you said black people cannot practice racism. You said they
Okay,
can be
dude.
racist, but they cannot practice racism.
Okay, so now
Is that what
keep
you
in mind.
said?
Okay, dude. Look, if you're gonna come on and challenge me to what I said, you have to understand what I said. You can't just wing it and freestyle what you think I said.
You said black
Okay,
people are racist, but they
so
cannot practice racism. Is
okay,
that what you said?
so how did I define racism?
Having power and control and
Okay,
controlling people.
dude. So I define racism as something systemic. Go.
Okay, power and
Okay,
control.
go.
There you go.
Go. Okay, go.
Okay, so again, you're saying blacks can be racist, but they can't practice racism because they don't have no systemic power. You also said that Candace doesn't practice racism, but she's a white supremacist. So I'm asking you, does
No,
that mean
that's false. I never called it white
okay?
supremacy. All right, dude. All right, anyway, you go on, but I just want to object I don't
So you didn't
call
call Candace a white supremacist, or did
nah
you
nah
call her a white
nah.
supremacist?
Black folks cannot be white supremacists, bro. The term white supremacist, she would be a black supremacist. She couldn't be a white supremacist. But go ahead.
Is she working for white supremacy?
She's the agent, yes.
She's an agent, but she's not a
Yeah.
white supremacist, but she's an
Nah,
agent of
yeah,
white
because
supremacy.
white supremacists
As an
like that.
agent, hold on, as an
Go
agent of
ahead.
white supremacy, is she practicing racism against black people?
Yes, she is. She's
Okay.
team. She's
So
team.
so black
She's
people,
team white
so black
supremacy.
people, so black people cannot practice racism against white people, but black people can practice white racism against other black people.
Yes, because white racism is a real thing. Yes, sure.
Okay. Okay. That's, I mean, if that's your logic, Ron, and that works for you,
Yeah.
run with it, bro. But I got to tell you,
Oh
it
yeah.
makes perfect
I'm a Hussein Bolt
nonsense.
run with it.
It makes perfect nonsense, Ron,
Okay.
for you to
That's
say black
your opinion.
people can only practice racism against other black people. Like that is,
No,
but if that's
well,
what you're saying, bro, I'm not
wait,
gonna argue with you.
that's
But
not
if
what I
that's
said
what
though.
you're
No.
saying,
Okay, I got to mute you because it's a dialogue, not monologue. You're asking questions, and then I give you an answer, and you're taking my answer and doing something different with it. I didn't say racism. I said black folks can practice white racism, like they can help it spread. That's what I said, and that's what.
you think that makes your argument clearer. Black people can practice white racism, but black
Yeah.
people cannot practice black racism. That's your logic, Ron?
Okay, so explain what black racism is.
You got to tell me, you're the one that said
Okay.
black people can't be white race, can't practice white
Okay.
race.
All right. So be quiet. Let me explain and listen. So black racism will be a system where we're depriving white people from their constitutional rights. Let's just leave it like that. Okay. So black racism will be black people are depriving white people constitutional rights where that so much that you have neighborhoods collapsing. Neighborhoods are deprived from money and resources where they can only rely on welfare or some type of government assistance to survive. Go. Go ahead. Mute yourself. Go ahead.
So you're saying black people are on welfare because of racism,
Yeah.
because of white supremacy. That's why they're on welfare.
Yeah. What you think?
And even today, when Trump talks about cutting welfare, black people are against it. So black people are against Trump trying to stop white supremacy.
Okay, brother. Now the question, I don't believe it was clear. Can you make the question a little more clear for me, please? So I don't assume what you're saying.
You're saying welfare is white supremacy.
No,
That's what you
I didn't.
just said, Ron.
No, I didn't say that. Okay, are you interested to know what I said so you could pin me to so you can still man
Okay,
my
okay.
argument? Or,
You say something, I
hey,
question you
bro.
about it, and then you say I
Okay,
didn't say that.
okay.
So go ahead
You,
and
s-
tell me what you're saying then.
okay, brother. You just asked. Well, not brother.
Why did you
Other.
bring up welfare?
Okay, other. You just asked a question. I said white supremacy is the reason why we're on welfare. That's what we agreed to. I don't know what you agreed to,
Okay, if
but
white supremacy is the reason we're on welfare, so
yeah,
here's my question. If white
yeah.
supremacy is the reason we're on welfare,
Hmm.
why is it that black people refuse to get off welfare? Is it white people? Is it white
Wait,
supremacy that's making them refuse?
I, bro. I gotta mute you. And you can unmute yourself after this. I don't understand the question because you. Why do you believe I believe welfare is a bad thing? It's not a good or a bad thing. Well, actually,
Hold on,
it's
but
a
you said it's white supremacy. Hold on. So this is something good
okay.
that
Bro, you gotta stop. See, the difference between me and him is that I'm a real YouTube journalist where I actually ask the questions to get answers out of you, and then I hold you to your answers. He's not asking me questions. He's getting part of an answer and running with it. And I'm saying, bro, I'm not saying that. Instead of him saying, well, what you're saying, he keep giving me an answer. I'm not saying, bro, start over. Look, unmute yourself and just start over so you can get the answer and stop saying what I'm not saying. Unmute yourself and let's just start over with welfare and white supremacy. Go. I'm giving you a chance to start over so I can give you my consistent answer. I've been saying the same. I debated welfare on my live, bro, with DJ Focus. So my answer is constant. Go. So
You said
start.
the reason why
Wait.
you said the
Hold on.
reason.
Wait, hold on. Just be clear. Start fresh, so we can so you can understand my position. Go ahead.
All right. So you said the reason black people are on welfare is because of white supremacy.
Okay. So note that. That's a fact. That's what I said. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm asking you, why is if white supremacy is why we're on welfare,
Mhm.
why do we choose not to get off welfare?
Okay. Okay. So good. Here we are. So white supremacy has always been thwarting our efforts to level up. All right. So when we use welfare to level up, like white folks did, and like immigrants like your family did, white folks use a system called redlining, well, systemic racism, redlining, discrimination, uh, denying us for home loans or giving us uh uh lopsided I forgot the terminology, but lopsided home ownership, like loans, the Freddie Mac and the Fannie Mae, predator lending, what I'm trying to say. So white supremacy doesn't allow us to level up once we use welfare. They're in our way, denying us services and blocking us for additional assistance to get off welfare. So they use their systemic racism program, or not program, but systemic racism, institutionalized racism, to keep us on welfare by denying us the other things to get off welfare and level up, like your relatives have access to, and white people themselves. Go ahead.
I don't really understand what you're saying to me, Ron. I have
Right.
no idea what you're trying to
Okay.
say.
Okay. So hold on. Because you don't know what welfare is for. Do you understand what welfare is and what it's for?
Here, welfare is for people who are poor, who need help with their basic necessities. And
So
you're saying the
wait,
reason
no.
black
Stop.
people.
I'm gonna mute you. Stop. Shut up. I asked you a question. You answered it. Stop. Don't tell me what I'm saying. I'm
All
saying
right,
this now.
Ron. Listen, Ron, you tell me to shut up again, I'm
Okay.
just gonna get off, okay?
Okay. Listen.
All right.
The
Are
reason
we
why,
okay with that?
okay, yeah, sure. But the reason why
All
I
right.
said that, the reason why I went out, jumped out the window and said that. So I apologize. I shouldn't have said that, because what I don't like is for you answer my question and then you come back and tell me what I'm saying, bro. Just listen. I'm not telling what. Listen. Here's the difference between me and you. I'm not telling you what you're saying. I will ask you what you're saying, and I will quote you what you said. Don't tell me what I said. Just ask me what I said. So we're just trying to unpack and then get back to where we were. Okay. So welfare, you said it's for poor people. Okay. So now, do you are you aware of the services that welfare offer to poor people to get off of welfare? Are you aware of that? Hello?
Am I aware of what?
The services and the programs welfare offers their recipients to get off welfare and then do better. Are you aware of those services?
Um, Services, no, I know they people have to be actively looking for work or something like that. No,
Okay,
I'm
okay,
not
brother.
familiar with welfare at
Okay,
all.
I know. I
Ron, you
no,
may
no.
be way more
Okay,
familiar about
okay.
with
Look, you answered the
welfare
question.
than I am.
Wait. Okay, I got
You're
it. I know
more
I,
familiar with welfare than me, Ron.
I'm more educated. I've never been on welfare, but I'm more educated in welfare than you. Okay, so now, and
Whatever the reason is.
okay, that don't matter. Don't matter. So what I'm saying is to have this conversation in your mind, you got an idea what welfare is and what it's not, and you're wrong. And this is why you're asking certain questions and I'm giving certain answers, and you can't conceive or understand the answers. It's okay. I will help you out the best I can. Hold on. Hold on. So, but we agree.
What was I wrong about what I said welfare was? I said welfare
Okay.
was to help poor people get the basic necessities of life. Is that not what welfare is for? How was I wrong?
Explain some of those necessities.
Food, rent, help with food, help with rent, help with their children, help with schools, whatever they need, they get it.
Okay. So that's why I
Mainly
asked you.
food and housing.
Okay. That's why I asked you. But welfare is temporary. It's not permanent. So I was saying welfare also offers programs to get you off of welfare to sustain yourself. And I asked you about those
So
programs.
white
You was
supremacy gets
okay.
people on welfare. So hold on. So
No, no,
white
no, 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 no,
supremacy.
no, 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 no,
Hold
no.
on, Ron. I
Okay, no,
gotta
no,
ask a
no, no, no,
question.
no, 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 no. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna kick you off. You ain't gotta hop off. I'm gonna kick you off. Okay, you're being disingenuous. Okay, okay. So this is what I'm saying. When I talk to people, I ask them what they're saying. I don't tell them what they're saying, and then I get their quote and I use it against them. Okay, so he's not understanding what I'm saying, and he say he don't understand welfare and how welfare is designed to get off of welfare and level up. He's not aware of the programs that welfare uh, uh, assists welfare recipients with. Now, it's up to the individual to take advantage of these programs and these assistance programs, these different reliefs. It's up to you. But if you don't seek them out, then they're not going to be there, and you'll be a welfare recipient, until your kids inherit it. All right, or get on it themselves. So listen, I'm going to be clear without this guy and American Dream. If you talk too crazy, I'm gonna block you. Okay, so just listen. So welfare is a great program for people who are poor, which he said already. And welfare is there to help you level up where you're not that poor anymore. If you use it correctly, if you use the tools that they provide correctly, that's a great assistant program to get off of welfare and then no longer be in that poor category. Okay. So what he's not understanding because he won't listen to what I'm saying, he just trying to still pigeonhole me to something I'm not saying. What I'm saying is white people are the reason why we're on welfare. So let's start right there. White people has stolen our wealth, sabotaged our businesses, and underfunded other projects that they agreed to, which caused us to be poor in the first place. That's what he's ignoring. That's why he's not on my level. That's why he could call in and can't keep up. So, and that's interesting that you bring up programs you don't know about. I won't ever do that. I won't ever talk about programs I'm not aware of or don't know about. Okay. So he ran from South Africa. He act like white folks own South Africa legally. Okay. This is the definition of a tether. Okay. So now I I I accepted his rabbit hole. I spared him from South Africa and I came to America to deal with welfare. I know he don't know more than me on welfare. Most folks don't. And I cook Candace Owens too on welfare. Okay. So welfare, white supremacy is the reason we're on welfare. And I'm gonna do a live to show this. White supremacy sabotaged Maggie Delaney Walker Bank, okay, and other black banks that was in existence. White supremacy sabotaged them and made them flop and fell, go belly up. White supremacy also sabotaged the Freedmen's Bank, cost $78 million to go down the drain and they end up owing like 12 million, 7 million. Okay. White supremacy is the reason why there's no Rosewood, there's no Black Wall Street, and there's no Oklahoma Black Wall Street, and there's no Durham, North Carolina Wall Street, and there's other black cities out there. I'm gonna do a whole live on. Just need y'all to support. Let me know y'all interested in this. There's so many cities you never heard of. Like for example, Soul City. You guys only heard of Soul City through me. No other podcast, no other channel. Soul City was in the late 1970s, and white supremacy sabotaged that. Okay, this is post Jim Crow. This is post Civil Rights Act. They sabotaged Soul City. Okay, so he's not interested in a dialogue. He wants to monologue and just tell me what I'm saying. Like, dude, you don't got to tell me what I'm saying. Just ask me what I'm saying. I'll tell you. That's why I said, let's start fresh. Let's start fresh. Let's start fresh. And he wasn't willing to do that. So now what I said was white supremacy is the reason we're on welfare So white supremacy did not offer us welfare. Okay. Welfare was already in existence. See, when you let me talk, you'll get the full story. White supremacy did not offer us welfare. Welfare was already in existence through the New Deal. Okay, 1935. That's where you get your matter of fact. That's where you get your Social Security from. You get your unemployment insurance from. You get your other things came from the New Deal. Okay, and welfare under the name of, well, one of the programs was the ADC, Aid to Dependent Children, which later on in the 40s and 50s changed to AFD, Aid Family Dependent and Children, where it added the mother and father to that welfare program. Okay. So welfare was already in existence in 1935, but it was exclusively for just white people. It excluded black people, American Dream. You're too stupid to sit here and have the honest dialogue. You're trying to win rather than be right. I'm trying to be right. You're trying to win. Okay. So welfare was already here, but it excluded black people. So it wasn't until around the Civil Rights Act or leading up to it where white folks entertain black women to seek welfare benefits. But why are we seeking welfare benefits? Because you undermine, underfunded, and sabotage all of our wealthy districts, all of our banks, every uh, avenue we had to pass down general wealth. White supremacy turned it belly up. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. And I'm gonna do a live cooking on that. Okay. So welfare wasn't a white supremacy thing against blacks. Welfare was something to help failing whites in their own country uh, keep them stable, hold them afloat, and offer job training and other things to incentivize them to get off welfare and get back into the labor force and make something of themselves, while it excluded blacks. So white folks got a bailout while black folks had to just be poor with no assistance. We didn't get assistance until like 19, like somewhere in the 50s. So white folks been getting assistance since 1862 with the Homestead Act, and maybe even earlier than that, but at least 1862. So around 1950, that's almost 100, that's 90 years. Black folks were locked out of any assistance program, or white folks were getting assistance, welfare from the government, public assistance. Welfare just means public assistance. White folks been getting welfares for 100 years. We were locked out of it. So finally, leading up to the Civil Rights Act, we were now eligible for welfare. But look what they did to us. They instituted rules like the man in the house rule. See, he's not qualified to have the discussion with me. I will cook him on welfare, and him and Candace Owens and anybody else. Okay, I put a lot of research into welfare. Okay, so it was not a white supremacy thing to keep us down. This was a tool to level up if you're poor. But why are we poor? We shouldn't be poor. He kept missing that point. We shouldn't need welfare. They destabilized us, undermined us, underfunded us, sabotaged us where we were completely poor, where we just needed welfare. Now, welfare was a level up. Immigrants, illegal and legal, use it today. His relatives use it today, and was able to use it as a leg up. Okay, the reason why we couldn't level up off of welfare is because they deprived us of those job training programs. They made, because you still gotta get a job, still gotta get training. So they'll tell you, hey, we don't have the funding to send you to school to learn about typewriting or computers or things like that, coding that white folks have access to and that illegal and legal immigrants have access to today. Okay. And then even getting qualified for welfare today is like hard as shit. It's not easy. A lot of black folks don't even have welfare, which is TANF. He don't know that. He's too stupid. His ego's too big to learn what you don't know, my boy. I work in this. Okay. I work in housing. I know what I'm saying. Okay. He does not. He's a fool. And he's my son when it comes to these topics on welfare and government assistance. This what I did. Okay. So a lot of black folks in South Carolina don't even get welfare TANF. They get welfare SNAP and other state assistance. They don't get federal assistance, which is welfare. Okay, when you get federal assistance, that's actually welfare. If you don't get that, you're not really on technically welfare. You're on state assistance, like SNAP. You dig? But when you get on TANF, that's federal, and that's you know what I mean that's a whole nother realm. Okay. But when we were on welfare, they did things like the man in a house rule, where their thing was to get us off welfare. And what is the one of the most conservative talking points today? One of the most conservative talking points today is black folks get off welfare. Like so they use welfare as something like a shameful tactic. Like, hey, black folks, Foundation of Black Americans, ADOS, why are you on welfare? You're lazy, get a job. Meanwhile, everybody who starts from the bottom, including white folks, get on welfare. So if you're on the bottom, welfare is the best tool to get from the bottom. But they want us on the bottom and they don't want us to have access to the best tool to get from the bottom. And then when we do get access to the tool, they would then manipulate where we stay with that program. Like I said, job discrimination and a whole host of things that they'll do to us. That's like documented. The FBI got their files, like they got their data. Like this is irrefutable. That's what I was gonna ask him. Like, bro, you don't believe we're being denied certain services and programs based on who we are, our lineage? You want to deny that? Okay, but he's too busy to tell. You said this, brother. Just ask me because I didn't say that. Not in that light. So I never said welfare was. So just to recap, I never said welfare was a tool to hold black people down. Welfare is a tool for poor people on the bottom to get a leg up. My thing was, why are we on the bottom? We shouldn't be on the bottom to even desire welfare. And now that we're on the, so we got to talk about that first and who got us on the bottom. So the same folks who got us on the bottom, once we qualify for welfare, they're now denying these tools that welfare offers to get from welfare to the second stage. So the stages are bottom, welfare, second stage. These people, right? This systemic racism that's keeping us on the bottom to desire welfare is also interfering with the next step, which is off welfare, to take advantage of some of the services welfare offer. And welfare does offer job training, computer skills, and things like that to get off welfare. How do I know? Because a lot of your damn illegal and legal immigrants use welfare to get their long, care business started, to get their painting thing started. Hey, that's welfare, bro. They use welfare to get this shit started. Welfare paid for a certain amount of their education, their schooling. You did, and gave them a grant, $10,000 or whatever, to start the business. So you're talking to the wrong guy. He thought he was gonna come here and troll. That didn't work out for him because you're talking to a guy who knows a lot about welfare. Okay, so but he thought I was going to do a different argument for welfare. Like welfare is a tool to keep us down. No, it's not. It's a tool to level up where we're no longer on the bottom. Now we're able to do something great or start to do something great. But people are blocking us for those services that welfare offers. Why are we named? Why are we coined the welfare queen when welfare was originally designed for white women? White women has always been the welfare queen, but why are we the welfare queen? So that stigma itself, family, by being called the welfare queen, that's letting people know who in welfare offices that you don't deserve welfare because you're abusing it. So when you go to apply for welfare, those people who process your information and your application, they are incentivized to deny you or make it tough for you to get it because they are under the impression that you don't deserve welfare because you are abusing it. You dig? You're using it. It's kind of like what he thought. That is a clown that we don't need. Okay. So you got to be on my level to have these discussions. So yeah, do your homework on on welfare and come back. You can't talk about things you don't know about. He talked about South African apartheid, and I said, okay, when did it end? He didn't know. Okay, he just winging it, and I don't respect that. I don't respect folks who come on my platform and have a conversation winging it. I would rather you extract it from me to see if I know it. First, find out to see if I know it. And if I know it, then extract it from me. If I don't know it, then we both can research it together. But first, find out if I know it. His ego was the issue. He couldn't sit with the fact that I knew about the things he talked about more than him. He admitted he knew nothing about South African apartheid and welfare, but he knew that I knew a little more than him. So, but he didn't want that to be expressed. So now he wants to talk over and ask another question and run from South Africa to the Native Americans and now to welfare. Dude, what are we doing, man? Can we just stay in South Africa? So no, that's not a genocide. These are people, his language. This is the tether's language. He said there's nothing wrong with somebody defending themselves. Right. So I'm like, okay, so their land was stolen. They got enough strength and education where they can, and maybe a military where they can defend themselves and take their land back, and you are calling it a genocide. So if that's the case, then you're saying Ibrahim Traore is also on some genocidal shit with the French because he asked the French to leave, and they took that invitation and they left. They took that notice and left. But had they stayed, Ibrahim Traore made it clear, like, yo, if you guys don't leave, we're gonna physically remove you. Like he made that clear that we're gonna have to use hands and feet on you to get you out of here. So he would say the Burkina Faso are committing genocide when they attempt to physically remove the French from occupying their land. This is a sickle. This is what we call a tether. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna do part two because we are look, you see right here. Look, this is 17 minutes. I allow him on because I knew I wasn't gonna finish anyway. So I allow him on to like, to have a entertaining dialogue or debate, whatever. A back and forth. But I'm gonna finish this part two. Okay. So family, tap in, click the bell notification, and make sure y'all watch part two. I gotta finish covering this debate because Candace Owens is gonna bring up welfare, and I'm gonna cook her on that as well because she clearly don't know the history of welfare. All right. So with that being said, I want you guys to go to my channel, look at my live videos, and look at the videos that were not live. I need you guys to look. I don't need no financial support. If I got that, I'll take it. But the better support is to go to my past videos, whether live or just uploaded, and just click like on all of them. Okay, that is the best support you can do. That's better than financial. But if some of y'all got some extra on you, you could definitely support financially. Which is $ unbiased Ron. Real simple. Unbiased Ron, RON, unbiased with an ED. UNBISED, Ron. Okay. But that's not an issue if that's not what it is. But just go to my past videos and just press like. That's better than financial support because that's going to lead to financial support later down the line. All right. So I'm going to do a part two on this tomorrow and hopefully I get through with it. Get through it. Okay. So I'm going to take his wrench again because he wants to just be a fool. So, bro, I try to give you a wrench, man, but you want to act like I don't make sense and it's whatever. Like I try to engage with you, but you want to keep telling me what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not, and I'm saying I'm not saying that. I even offered the guy to start fresh. Let us start fresh, so you can understand what I'm saying about welfare. So I made it very clear to you guys. I made it very clear. Welfare is a great tool for people that's on the, so one more time, chat one more time. Let me put the microphone to my mouth. Welfare is a great tool for people on the bottom. My question is, why are Black people on the bottom? We're on the bottom because it was social engineered through legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, okay, and things like the peonage system, where they locked us up for vagrancy. You know, the 13th Amendment, the vagrancy laws and literacy tests. They locked us up for the stupidest reason to get us in the coal mines and the steel mills and the sharecropping industry, and they got cheap labor from us to continue this cycle of slavery for another 100 years. And then any cities that we developed that were affluent and generated money, the dollar circulated 18 times and better, they sabotaged these neighborhoods by either burning them down or running highways through them, eminent domain. So they intentionally left us with no generational wealth, and they blocked us out of programs that allow people to level up, like the HOLC, the FHA, and the New Deal. Okay, the GI Bill 1944. So they excluded us from all of those level up public assistances, okay, which is welfare. And then welfare itself, they excluded us from that. The ADC, which changed to the AFDC and changed later to TANF. Okay. You're not on my level at all, my boy. And that's why, and here's my thing. You're not my level. You're not ready for this conversation. And that's why you are whoever you want to be. And I am him. So folks, tune in tomorrow. I'll do part 2. Again, I'll reiterate, go to my past videos, just press like so I can use my views and likes as leverage to talk to the people who you really want me to talk to, not American Dream. He's clearly not my equal. None of them are, and he don't even have, a certain following, a certain influence like other folks. All right. That's all I ask, man. Peace. We're out of here. I appreciate you guys, my lineage folks, and also my supporters. Bless you. You're welcome. And we're out. Out. I get you. I'm going inside. Come, Yuki. Come, Yuki.